Hey famous warrior, welcome back to our channel. Today I have with me Ketty Phiri from the Green Rose Beauty Salon, and she's here to talk all things entrepreneurship, all things beauty, all things Green Rose in a thorny business arena and all those things. And our hope is that from this conversation you guys will be inspired and challenged. If you're already in a business, challenged to think about things regarding your business a little differently. And if you're thinking about starting a business, hopefully some of the things that she will share here today will be helpful. So before we get into it, Ketty, thank you so much for making the time, for coming and being here with me.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor for me to be on this amazing platform. Like, I watch your videos and all that, so I'm so grateful to be here. Awesome. And I'm excited about this.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited too. So in true famous warrior fashion, before we jump into our topic, just so that the viewers get to know a bit more about you, tell us about yourself in only 5 sentences.
Okay. So always I start by describing myself or telling people about myself, explaining that I am a child of God.
Yes.
Yeah, I know everyone will say we're all children of God. Yeah, but I first describe myself by saying I am a child of God. And secondly, I'm so passionate about beauty and seeing women happy and fulfilled in who they are, finding their worth, and also being authentic. And ambitious. Yeah. I'm ambitious, and is that a, yeah?
Yes, that's a sentence. That's 3. So
two more. I have a creative mind, and I'm a kind person, humble and kind person.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So beauty industry, it's so broad, so vast. Yeah. How did you first of all decide to get into the beauty industry, and then how did you find your niche? Like, okay, this is what I'm not going to do everything, but this is what I'm going to focus on. How did you narrow down to that? Tell us about your journey in that regard.
Okay, so I can say beauty just happened to me.
It just happened.
It just happened, really. I didn't plan to be in the beauty industry. And when I was still in school, I actually just wanted to be a nun. I wanted to be a sister, a Catholic nun.
Hold on. I need to process this first. Hold on. Okay, say that again.
I wanted to be a Catholic nun. So when I was done...
Why? Like, why were you so drawn to that?
I wanted to be in mission. I wanted to be like a missionary. So my passion was to help people, to reach out to people. So I really wanted to work as a missionary. So I was like, okay, I felt called by God that I can be a missionary and a sister. But it changed by the time I was in grade 12. Yeah, and then from there, so after finishing high school, I didn't know what to do with my life, because all my life I was like, I'm going to become a nun. I'm going to become a nun. So
what changed? Like, what was that moment or situation that made you like, okay, this is something that I've wanted to do my whole life, but this is not the path for me?
Yeah, so I would attend Kamansis and all that, the seminars that they would have. So in those moments, I was discovering myself. And at one time, we spent like 1 week just indoors and stuff like that, praying and all that. It was amazing and I loved it. So after leaving that place and then I went back home, I felt like I was this different person. A person who was more holy than the others. You'd find people who are wearing trousers and I'm looking at them, I'm like... because I wasn't wearing all that, I was judging, so I became judgmental. So then I asked myself, is this what I really want? Is this my calling? So because it made me feel kind of out of place, so I prayed to God, like, is this my calling or not? So then from there I felt to say, okay, I am not at peace, because I always look for something that gives me peace.
Yeah.
So it wasn't giving me peace to say, okay, this is it. So because of not having that peace, I was like, okay, let me just go a different way. Yeah.
Okay. So back to now, done with high school, what's next? And everyone always asks you when you're in grade 12, it's like, I don't know, stop asking me. But everyone always asks you, the aunties, everyone. Oh, so Siliza, okay, what are you going to do? Like, I don't know, guys. Give me some space.
Yeah, and like for me, because the whole family knew that I'm going to be, so I had to text everyone, my aunties, my uncles, that I'm not going to be.
Yeah, wow.
So now deciding on what to do, my dad was working as a chef for the British. So then there was someone who was going on leave. I actually started with, I worked for 2 weeks as a nanny. I was looking after these 2 little kids. They were so amazing. Just for 2 weeks, standing in for someone. Then my sister Matilda was going on leave. She worked for, it wasn't Zerina. No, it was Zerina at that time. She was working for Zerina. So she was going on maternity leave. So she asked me to say, can you just stand in for me, raise some money and do whatever you want after. So then,
hold that thought. Who is Zerina? I know who Zerina is, but
so
people watching
Zerina,
don't
that's
know who
my
Zerina
former
is.
boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she owns a beauty salon as well,
Yes,
right?
she does. Beauty Facts. So Matilda was like, can you stand in for me? I was like, oh, okay, sure, since I have nothing to do. So I stood in for her, and then because of circumstances, she couldn't go back for work. So I stayed. She said, can you stay? I was like, yeah, because I didn't know what to do.
I might as well stay.
So
I'm making
anything,
some money.
yes, I'm making some money. I'm not asking for money from my parents and all that.
Yeah.
So I stayed. Then Zerina was like, do you want to learn how to thread, how to wax, how to do pedicures? I actually first started with pedicures and manicures. I learned how to do that. I was like, oh, sure, I think it's fun, because I also realized that I love anything to do with my hands. I had never wanted to sit in an office or be maybe a banker or something, but I always want something that keeps me active. So I was like, okay, maybe I can do art or something. So when she said, can you do pedicures and manicures, I was like, sure, at least I can do art.
Yes.
I can do all those things. It will be fun. So I started with that, and then she was like, threading. I had no idea that I would learn. I was actually just doing it for her. She's like, you need to learn. I need to go on holiday. I was like, okay, let me learn, but I don't think I'll learn. I'm like, she would just give up to say, okay, this girl doesn't know how to thread. So I started practicing, but I would lie sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I've been practicing. She'll be like, okay. I would practice on my legs. What? Are you practicing on people? I'm like, yes, I am. Then one day she was like, can you thread my upper lip? I was like, wow. So you see what happens when you're lying.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. So I started threading her upper lip. Then I cut out one
Oh
side.
my
She was like,
days.
no, okay, this is the last time I'm showing you. She was so tough on me, but I knew, I'm like, okay, she just wants me to learn. She was so amazing. Yeah. She was like, Kate, this is the last time I'm showing you. If you don't get it now, I don't know. So she showed me that time. I managed, I did her upper lip, and then from there I'm like, okay, let me practice for real. Then I started threading people around me, friends, for free and whatnot. And then I got it from there, and she went on holiday. She left the business in my hands.
Wow.
So I think that time when she left, I got all this experience and to attend to different clients.
How long was she gone?
Her. She was gone for like 3 weeks. That was like a month.
Yeah.
So that was like an opportunity, and she trusted me with her business and to attend to her clients because she believed to say, okay, you can do this. So that's where the passion grew, and I developed interest of being in the beauty industry. Yeah.
Awesome. So you come out of high school, first job, you have this amazing mentor who trusts you and teaches you everything. How long were you working at Beauty Facts before you felt the burden to start your own business?
So I think because I worked with Serena for about 10 years.
Wow.
And for me, it wasn't so much because I was so attached to her. So I knew I wanted to start my own business someday. But for me, my idea was if I can partner with her and continue working with her, because I was like, how do I leave and just start my own business? So I was like, we can actually do more together and build up the business. So having worked with her, and then I would suggest some stuff to say, okay, can we do that? And then she would allow, because at first I was just working as just an employee, and then from there I suggested to say, can I start working as an independent? She was like, go ahead. That's how I started. She would encourage me all the time. Started working as an independent. So at that point when I started working as an independent under Zarina, then I realized to say, I can actually start my own and it can strive, it can actually work. So yeah, that's where it started from. And then from there, but I had no idea how I'm going to start. Of course, I started saving some money aside, putting some money aside, saving and whatnot. But how to start, really I had no idea. I was just putting figures in my head. I'm like, if I just have a 30 pin, I think I can start. Without even writing what's needed or anything like that. I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, I'll start one day. But so I was in between of starting and maybe if I save a lot of money, partner with Serena, maybe buy some shares and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, interesting. So how did you make the jump? Tell us about making the jump, because like you're saying, you're just thinking in your head and you're thinking this is a one-day thing, or maybe it's this, but then obviously that didn't happen because you are doing your own thing, you started your own place. So tell us about that leap of faith. What did it take? Yes, it took money. Yes, it took you gaining experience and having your mentor give you the green light to say, yes, go. But other than that, tell us about how your faith and maybe some key people in your life, like your parents or your siblings, played a role in you just launching out. And yes, I haven't written the plan. I don't know everything that I'll need, but I'm just going to go. Yes.
Okay, so I had a few friends around me who would encourage me to say, Kate, you can do this. Write down the stuff. So in 2021, I decided to say, okay, now let me write down some things. No, not 2021, 2019. Yeah, in 2019. Okay. I said, okay, let me write down some things to just see how much money is needed. So after writing everything, I was like, oh, to have this, because I wanted to start big, this nice place and all that. I'm like, okay, I need about 80 to 90,000 for me to start. I'm like, okay, so maybe let me start buying things one by one, slowly. Yeah, so I started buying like a few machineries and stuff locally and stuff. Then my plan was to start in 2021 after I'm done, because I was at uni last studying business administration. So I was like, my friends would tell me, start. I'm like, I can't start. I'm in school. It will be too much work. I have to be done with school first. Okay. So then I decided to say I'll start in 2021 when I'm done with school. So 2020, COVID happened. Was it 2020 or end of 2019?
Yeah.
Yes, COVID hit. And then the place that we're at, it was quite a big place. She was paying so much money. There's just a lot of things happening. Then she was like, guys, I would have to let you go. I was working with my sister, my cousin. Yeah. So she was like, guys, I would have to let you go, but don't go and look for a job. You can start your own. And I was like, okay.
In pandemic?
Was this God? Yes. And was this God preparing me to say, okay, write down, start buying things. Yeah, start buying things. So I was like, okay. So she was like, I'm giving you 1 month. That was in April. Yeah, so we're given 1 month to sort ourselves out.
Wow. So it was literally.
And I was like, okay, how much?
Like you're going to do this.
Yes, it was also beyond her control and stuff like that. Yeah, so we're so grateful. And I was like, okay, how much money do I have? I was saving this money to buy myself a car. I was like, I need to buy myself a car first before I become a CEO for a business. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to use this money that was meant for my car to just start up something. So my family, my friends were there to support Kate. You can you can do this, we can do this. So we started looking for places. And then now places that you find they're big places, and then they need too big, yes. And I was looking at the money, the budget, I was looking at the money. I'm like, I wanted to start big, but I have to start more. I have to start small. So I had to stick to that and know exactly to say, I don't have enough money to start big, and accept that. So we would find places that were really big, some nice, some needed a lot of renovations. I'm like, I can't afford this rent. I don't know if customers will come. I had no idea if customers will come. Then I just told my sister, I'm like, if we don't start, I think just start looking for a job, because now I'm losing hope. I don't know, we can't find a small place. Then I prayed to God. I'm like, God, I actually told him, I'm looking for a place where there are other offices. Just a small place, even just 2 rooms, then we can start from there. I can afford that, and at least it has to be in a central place. So after almost giving up, my sister's friend Matilda, Lazarus, he was like, guys, I have a place in North Mid. My friend is living, she's expanding her business, so maybe you want to have a look. I was so tired of looking at places, so even when I was going, then Tudor was like, just go and check it out. I was so tired. I'm like, okay, let me just go and check it out, but if it doesn't work out, I'm ready to work from home. A few clients can come, I thread their eyebrows, and then the rest we'll see what happens. I just started going with the flow. So I'm like, okay, let me go and see. So when we got there, just upon reaching the gate, I was like, this is it. I felt the peace. That is the peace that I always look for in anything. I felt the peace. I'm like, this is it. So Tudor's friend was busy telling me, Kate, you haven't even seen the place. I'm like, this is it. I know this is it. So we got there, talked to the landlord, then he opened the place. I'm like, this is it. I'm coming to pay. I can afford this. I can afford this. I'm coming to pay. He was like, are you serious? I'm like, this is it. So after work, I went straight to pay for the place. And then, that's how we started. And then my family was there to help me.
I was, set up,
buying stuff. Everyone was there. My friends, they were so supportive, really.
Nice.
Because I was so stressed. I wasn't sleeping. I lost weight. As you can see, I'm skinny already now, losing weight from here. I was so skinny, but God is faithful, and when you ask him for something, he always gives you at the right time, and he knows when you need it. So because when I was starting, I was thinking, but I'm not ready, I'm still in school and all that. But when he knows you're ready, he always paves the way for you, because he's already written your future.
Awesome. So before we continue, I want to just pick on something that you said that I think is important for people out there, because whenever we want to start something, we always do want to start big, because that's what we've seen, and we don't really think about how other people started. We're just seeing where they are now.
Exactly.
And so we're thinking, okay, for me to compete in this industry with these people, I have to also be at that level. And to some degree, that thinking is good. But the Bible also says, don't despise the days of small beginnings, humble beginnings. So you mentioned something like, I had to come to terms with the reality that this is what I could afford. This is where I was. Yes, I wanted to start big, but I didn't have time to save all that money. And if I was going to wait to keep saving that money, it was never going to happen. So with that in mind, what are some challenges you faced other than coming to terms with, okay, I'm not starting this big thing, right? So you find this place, it's the one, you have the peace, you don't have all the money to get everything that you need, you have the support of friends and family, which is great, but then you have to hire people as well, and now you're thinking about payroll, you're thinking about all these things, right? And it's in the middle of a pandemic year. What are some challenges that you faced in those first few months that you can use to encourage somebody out there who's starting and feeling like, if I'm doing the right thing, I wouldn't have all these challenges? But that's not usually the case.
So, like I said before, we were working together with my sister Matilda and Miss Ozzy.
Yeah.
So with Matilda, we came in with a different, when it comes to paying people. With Matilda, I'm like, you come in the nail section, and then we'll have a different arrangement there. Then the only person that I was entitled to pay was Miss Ozzy, the receptionist.
Okay.
So even with her, we agreed to say we're just starting, we're helping each other.
And we have to just be in this thing together.
So, but when we started, the first month was so good. So in terms of paying and all that, paying rentals, it was so easy. I won't lie to say it was hard. Like, people showed up.
Yeah.
Friends, family, clients, they showed up. Like, I was speechless.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I can explain that.
Yeah.
Up to now, I still get shocked to say, like, on the launch day, the way people came through. I'm grateful. It was so overwhelming, and then they kept coming, and we only wanted a little bit of money to start off, but God gave us more than we asked for.
Yeah.
So in terms of money and stuff, it wasn't difficult. The only challenge that we had was in terms of finding good quality products. So it was so hard because you don't have connections, you don't know or anything, and you have, because of COVID, the world was closed, so we had to source out products locally,
which were expensive, I'm sure.
Yes, and hard to find good ones. So with waxing, I hadn't even started waxing like full body, because the wax that I had was horrible. So I would tell people, I'm like, can I just do your upper lip, or maybe wax underarms, but I can't do full body because the wax was really bad. And with the nails, nail polish and stuff, we had a few here and there products. That was something that really stressed me. Yeah, I was like, how am I going to do this? But I'm like, okay, let's work with what we have. But that was giving me so much anxiety and stress. But people came through for my wax. There was a client who's running the same business as I am, and there are people out there who are so kind, and they won't say, no, it's competition. I can't tell you what I'm using and all that. She asked, Kate, what wax are you using? I'm like, I have this horrible wax that I just bought, and it's not really working, so I'm not doing much of waxing. She was like, okay, I know someone who has stock, and she can sell you some good quality wax. I buy from her. So she gave me the contacts and everything. I contacted the lady, and I was able to get some good quality wax, and then from there, she's the one that has been supplying to us. And then from there also, she can like, okay, I can order this nail polish. She orders a lot of stuff for us from SA. So I was like, those are some of the challenges that we face. I mean, in terms of products.
Okay. And
starting small for me, I felt because I accepted it, because you have to accept. Because if you're not accepting, then it becomes hard. So because I accepted, I enjoyed that, and the fact that I had this, it was a small place, so you have that intimate interaction with clients. Like, I had clients that I had attended to from Zarina, but it was different when they came that side, because we kind of became more closer with our clients. The interactions became more deeper. We got to know each other more. They became more open. We're even shocked. I'm like, oh, okay, this one can talk like this. So sometimes I even get scared. I'm like, do I want to expand? I feel like I'm
because you like that intimate vibe.
Yes, I'm like, God, do I want to expand? Because maybe I'll be in a different room, this other client in the other room, and I won't have that deep interaction with clients, like seeing who comes in, who goes out, saying hi, and then so I kind of enjoyed that small space. Even when I was telling Miss Ozzy the other day, I'm like, I think having 2 rooms was nice, because it was when she was like, no, this is nice. I'm like, oh, okay.
Awesome. So speaking of products, right? The beauty industry is ever evolving. There's like new things every other day, right? How do you keep up with all those changes? How do you keep up with the latest trends? How do you balance being trendy with keeping what's tried and true and what's your faithful, like your go-to? How do you balance that? And how do you deal with clients who maybe like want the trendy stuff, and you're like, no, this will come and go, give it 2 weeks, it will pass. Like, how do you How do you balance all that out?
That's actually a good question. For me, it has always been quality. I don't move with trends. I don't move with that. Because the products that I've been using, these are products that have been used for years.
Yeah.
And then we have a lot of new stuff on the market. But I do try. I'll try on myself, try on the ladies and whatnot to see how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I don't stay so much on what's trending. What I want is something that is good for a client, something that has been tried, and something that will give the best results.
Yeah.
It's not about what's on the market, what does everyone want. Of course, I have clients who would ask, when are you starting to do this? When are you starting to do what? I'm like, for me, my vision, so I explain to them to say, my vision, I explain to them my vision because I have a vision, I know where I'm going, and I don't want to just do everything and anything just for money. Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard because sometimes you're tempted, you're like, maybe I can just do this, maybe just this, maybe just that. So you really have to know where you're going and really what you want to give out to people. Okay. So for me, it's quality. If the new product that's trending is good quality and it's the best, then you go for it. Yeah, we go for it. We try new gel nail polish or polygel. Let's try it. Is it good? Oh, okay. We try. Yeah.
Awesome.
We do, but we're not so much on trends.
Yeah. Okay. You spoke about a person that helped you who is supposed to be your competition.
Yes.
Right? So the beauty industry is mainly female focused.
Yes.
And I know females have bad reputation for being competitive and not really wanting to give a leg up to one another. So how have you navigated that space? Because majority of your clients, if not all of them, are female. And some females can be catty and can be petty and can be vindictive. And then others, like you're saying, are just so warm and kind. So how have you navigated that space? The thorny spaces as this rose, and you're trying to to connect with your clients, and you're trying to give off this good vibe, and you're so humble and so kind just as a person. And then how do you relate with some people that might not have your heart or might not have your best intentions?
So I think for us, it all begins with the relationship that we have amongst us, like the team, the Green Rose team. So how we approach clients, how we approach people, and all that. We have a common ground of being kind to everyone, treating people the same with kindness. So we have people that come to you and then they want to treat you in a certain kind of way because you know how saloon girls are, saloon girls are that and whatnot. So when they come and we treat them like we would treat our clients that have been with us for a long time, we take care of them, we listen to what they want, and then eventually you see how they just change from just wanting to be these difficult clients with whatnot and whatnot, and then they just become I don't know how I can explain it, but because of how we're taking care of them, they feel at home, and they feel the peace. A lot of people have experienced the peace that we try to bring out to our clients and how we appreciate them. So I think how we carry ourselves also has a huge impact
kind of
on
sets
how
the tone.
Yes, it sets the tone on how people who come in will act or will be, because it's how you carry yourselves, the behaviors that you're bringing out, your attitudes and everything. So we work on that. We're not saying we are perfect. We are also still working on ourselves, but we try our very best to just balance and be kind to everyone and just serve because we are offering a service. So it's something that is very hard when you're offering a service because you face different people with different characters, different attitudes. So you just have to serve. For you, you're there, you have to serve. You have to listen, even if you know you're saying, oh my God. but you have to serve them because they are your clients.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you also ask about competition and whatnot?
Yes.
So in terms of competition, because I know what I want and I know my vision and where I want to be, so I don't stay so much on trying to compete with other salons. Like I don't try and compete with other businesses. I think at one point I almost lost it because I was always on Facebook trying to
out
see
what other people
what
are
have
doing.
they posted.
Yes.
What have they it's a lot of
ways
ways.
do they post?
How many times do they post? How many? It was so stressful when I just started because I was trying to keep up, because of the competition and all that. Because there are a lot of beauty salons now, so you want to do everything, you want to be on top of it. But I said, okay, I can only be there if I'm authentic with what I do and not copying everything that everyone is doing, but just be authentic and just present ourselves to the world, who we are, what we value, and then we'll attract the right people that we want. And that has really happened. Like the people that come through, we know, okay, these ones, it's because of our values and because of how we just carry ourselves and the vision for the business.
Awesome. As one of your clients, I will attest to the environment. Like when you just walk into Green Rose, it's just warm, it's calm, it's peaceful, it's inviting. It makes you feel, even if you're having a stressful day, like when you just get there, it's like calming. You have quotes everywhere. I love quotes. I live by quotes. And I like your space because it has that. You know, you go in the bathroom, there's quotes. You go in the reception, there's quotes. How have you maintained or put your personal values, because I can tell that's something that you value as a person, so that's like an overflow into your business of who you are as a person. So how have you maintained your personal values, keeping your business values in line, training your staff to keep those values what you want, because it's not a one-man team. You're doing this with other people who have different backgrounds, who value different things other than you. But then when they come onto the team, you have to know we're all valuing this. So how have you maintained that? What do you do when you have a new staff member? Like run people through your process in making sure everyone's on the same page. Like you were saying, even when clients come in, there's something that they feel because everyone is on the same page. How have you managed to get that?
Okay, so when it comes to that, of course, it all starts with me and the vision that I have for the business. So knowing who I am and knowing my identity in Christ, that has really helped me to also try and impact that on the people that I am working with. So we've only had only two people that joined us. The lady who's helping us with making sure the place is clean, and also Fatuma who's helping Matilda learn how to do nails. So it's a process. It's not something that we do. So we've had hiccups here and there because we want to try and help this person who's just coming, and I don't do it myself. I have Matilda and Miss Ozzy who are always there to help and correct if I am not going in the right path. So what is working for us is also accepting correction as the owner of the business when one of the ladies come through to say you're not doing this the right way. So I can't say I've really gotten it and I have a specific process that I use. Yes, I would lie if I say I'm like, okay, I have this process, we do that. So I kind of get stuck sometimes on that, and then my team will help me to say, can we do this, can we do that? So this year I've been thinking and I've been praying to God to say I need a mentor. I think I'm kind of stagnant. I don't know how to do some of the processes and all that. So I approached someone who is at Rema. She'll be done, so I don't want to disturb her now, but I already approached her. I said, okay, when she graduates, then we can have coffee and then talk and see how she can. She's someone who's already gone ahead, she's doing a different business, but she's someone who's already gone ahead, and I love how she trains her workers and how the staff is trained and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, I don't really have so much knowledge when it comes to how to train. For me, I'm just using basic knowledge. Oh, we have to be this, we have to be kind, we have to be what, and all that. So on our list, like for next year, we also want to bring in someone to train us in terms of customer service, to just have a professional person. So we are looking out for people who can do that. We have 2 people on the list, but we're still trying to expand and see who is the best and who can help us to say, okay, we need this person. And then also I know the mentor coming in will really help me for next year to have a proper process on how I can be training, because sometimes it's stressful because you don't know, you're like, but you just need to follow, you just need to do all those things, but the person needs to be trained. And Rema also has helped me in terms of understanding leadership. I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing so. I was more of a person who is always practicing grace, and not telling someone like, okay, you are wrong, you need to do this like this, but always just, okay, grace, it will pass, it will pass, it will pass.
And then it's not
but
passing.
now I need to practice grace and truth. So I am changing to being that also, practicing grace and truth. So Rema has helped me in terms of leadership. So I'm hoping that when I speak to this lady and then we start the mentorship, I know I'm going to have something, some order and what, because sometimes I really get stuck. I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. You do Google, YouTube, but you need someone who's gone ahead of you. You can't do it yourself, because sometimes I have a problem of thinking I can do it. I'm like, do I even need a mentor? I'm like, I can do it. But I'm like, no, girl, you can't do it. You need a mentor. So I've spoken to her and she was like, no problem, but just giving her time. Let her graduate on Saturday, then we can talk over coffee and see how she can help us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So back to the thorny industry and your business being Green Rose. First of all, tell me about how you came up with that name. And then how have you managed to keep the essence of who you are in this industry that's just, when it comes to beauty, your values for natural beauty versus all these trends and artificial things going on and low self-esteem and body image stuff that is clearly out there, and we're seeing women doing the most to themselves, some irreversible stuff even, just trying to achieve that level of beauty that it seems like they're never attaining. And how are you purposing to help women? Because in the beginning you said you want to see women, who have self-worth and who have all those things. How are you practically doing that? Because it's one thing to say, your eyebrows will be on fleek and you feel good, you feel confident, your nails are done. Yes, that is a given. But then there's another element to it. And I think you're someone who is kind of purposeful, even with the quotes you put up or the things you post on social media. It's getting in the heart. How are you navigating that, doing that, maintaining that in this space, which is just so surface level, not really going into the heart and just wanting to look good on the outside when inside is,
So why Green Rose?
Yes.
So initially the name was supposed to be Black Rose.
Wow.
Then I googled what's Black Rose. I found there was this guy, a musician and whatnot. I'm like, no, this doesn't align with me.
Okay.
So I was like, I needed something that aligned with me and something that will speak about my values and something that will speak about natural beauty and just appreciating things that are real.
Yeah.
So I googled Green Rose and I figured there's actually a Green Rose.
Is it?
And the meaning, I was amazed. Uniqueness,
wow.
Renewal and all those. I'm like, this is it. For me, it has to be that moment.
Yes.
Like, this is it. So I said, Green Rose.
Okay.
That's how I came up with the name. I'm like, oh,
Awesome.
Green Rose. And then everyone was like, oh, Green Rose, yeah. And when it comes to how I'm keeping my grounds in this beauty industry that has a lot of things coming up and people trying to change who they really are, and, not really to judge anyone, but there's a way that society describes or defines beauty. And then this beauty that is defined by society, it's this perfect person who's got everything that is perfect. But what we should know is that we are not perfect. We are not perfect. We can't have everything in place, but we are who we are. We have to accept who we are, and we have to be authentic. It's in the imperfections for me that we find beauty. Yeah, it's in the imperfections that we find beauty. So accepting who you are, and also knowing what you want, that will really help you even on how to choose which products or which beauty treatments you will go for. So I try and put up all that because it has been a process for me as well, understanding who I am. But I feel it's something that God had put in my heart a long time. I would say I would talk about authenticity and whatnot, but it wasn't something that I was living by per se. But it was something that I was hoping to say, if I can get to this and just be an authentic person, I don't have to copy that person or dress like that person. Yes, so it had to be a process of me accepting my imperfections and accepting who I am and being authentic. So I felt to myself to say, if I can be authentic and I can accept myself, meaning there's someone out there who also hasn't really accepted who they are and they're not living an authentic life. And then it's not a good space. People get depressed. People have to change who they are, like you say, to an extreme of doing things that are not reversible. They'll go maybe for surgery, they'll change a lot of things, and then these things are so addictive. So I'll start with my nose, and then I'll figure to say, okay, my cheeks are not balancing with my nose, so I'll go and work on my nose. We've seen testimonies of people who've really changed themselves, and then they feel bad and they're like, I wish I didn't do it. I wish I had accepted myself and who I am. So that is the message that I am trying to bring out there to the world, to say we can do beauty treatments, taking care of ourselves, which is very important. Love yourself, come through, take care of yourself, clean up, do your nails. And then from there it's because you accept yourself, so you take care of yourself. Not that you want to change yourself, but it's taking care of yourself that is very important, because once you start taking care of yourself, then you have accepted yourself. You don't want to change anything about you. So we've had a lot of clients that have come through, and then they're like, I love this place because I feel appreciated for who I am, and I feel at place. I don't feel judged, like I need to change this about myself, but I feel accepted. And just like you said, I also live on quotes. Like, oh my God, like you should come. Come to my house. I have quotes everywhere. Then I'm like, okay, this is not too much. I'm like, okay, this is now too much. But that is something that I know. So when someone reads, it gets to one or two people, and they're able to, it will help one or two people. I remember there was a video I posted once, so it was saying a reminder. So I had a few papers that I was trying to say, a reminder, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're powerful. Then I received messages from my clients saying, this is what I needed. I'm like, I'll continue doing it as long as I know there's someone who needs it. So that is something that really keeps me grounded, to say, because I know I'm helping someone out there. It's not just about the beauty treatments or making my money, but God has presented me with He's presented me these amazing women that I attend to, an amazing community. I have people, so I have allowed Him to say, use me in a way that you want me to do your work. So I know there I have an opportunity to touch people's lives as well, in different ways. People who have low self-esteem, people who feel like they're nothing and whatnot. So yeah, those are people that I want to reach out and to make sure they just accept who they are and walk in that authentic path, because it's the best thing that you can do for yourself. Being authentic, being real, it's the best thing. There's so much peace. It might feel a bit uncomfortable for a start, but once you just walk through and take that step, then you just feel amazing about yourself. So yeah.
Awesome.
That is what has really helped me.
Okay. One last question. So back to you being a young female entrepreneur in Zambia. Okay, so there's this philosophy that, you know, Zambia is basically the school of hard knocks for every entrepreneur, and if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere, because things are hard here, you know, and you really have to push through. Not that entrepreneurship is easy everywhere else, but it just has this added layer here in this country. And as a female, what challenges have you faced that are unique to being female, especially because your industry is very female driven? Have you experienced any challenges in trying to start your business, trying to grow your business, maybe finding a mentor, all those things that pertain to your business and running your business, just because you're a female?
Just because I'm female. So firstly, I would say, of course, finding a mentor. That is a challenge that I've had. I'm like, okay, in a beauty industry, do I need a male or female mentor? Like, who should mentor me and whatnot? So like I said, I've settled for a female mentor. I feel she'll kind of more understand, maybe understand what I'm going through or trying to expand. The other challenge that I am facing is expansion. Like, that is where I am stuck. I'm like, how do I really expand without losing clients or changing location or whatnot? Because there's location, there's a lot of things that come in when you decide to expand. So looking at how it is out there, most people will look at expansion to like when you have a lot of branches, when you have all that. But I have come to an understanding to say it's not about having a lot of branches, having a lot of, of course, branches here and there, or having a huge place, but expansion is also, it's also internally, like your clients also checking out the numbers and seeing how clients have, how many clients you've brought in, and how your business has grown. That also shows a huge growth of your business, and that is what is going to determine to say, do I need to expand or not? Do I need more employees and what? So as a female, really, I can't really figure out. I can't really figure out like a huge challenge to say, because I am female. I have faced this challenge. Because I feel we cannot do we can do anything, whether female or male. So with that mindset, for me, I have always been like, okay, I can do this, I can do that, because I know I'm like, I can do anything. Yeah. So I haven't really had a challenge just per se that I am female. Yeah. But of course, challenges are there in the beauty industry. Looking at Zambia, like you say, there's a lot of challenges there. You have to pay tax, and then October is already done. And then I feel like I just paid tax yesterday.
I know, right? And then you have to do it
so
again.
I have to do it again. Yeah. So there's tax to be paid. You need to make sure you pay your employees and stuff like that. But that is something that I said I have to do. I have to pay all those things. I would rather maybe if there's no money that time, let me be without the money, but the people who are there, the people who are helping me get their share. Yeah. So challenges come through with that. like now we have to do all this paperwork. I really get tired with the paperwork.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need help. The
Yeah,
paperwork
because
are
you said
exhausting.
you don't want to have an office job and like
Yeah.
yes.
The paperwork is a lot of work, and then end of the year, you know, you have to do all this paperwork.
Yeah.
And every month you have to do all this paperwork. But I'm like, okay, so I know having a mentor will really have a different impact on me and how I'll run my business. Yeah.
Awesome. As a final thought before we conclude, any words of encouragement, words of inspiration for someone watching out there? And it can be about anything. It can be about someone who's wanting to start a business, somebody who's wanting to get into the beauty industry. It can be just a woman out there or a gentleman who, you know, they're having challenges with just accepting how God made them. So whatever words of encouragement you have to share, you can look directly into the camera and just speak to someone out there.
Okay, so my first encouragement will be for anyone who wants to start a business, I would say know your why. Know why you're doing whatever you want to start. It can be a beauty business or anything, but know why you're doing that, because if you understand why you're doing that, that will pave a way and it will help you understand your vision and where you're going. And for someone who's already in the beauty industry and they are finding difficulties, go back to your notes and check exactly to see what you really want and where you want to see your business be. And also just be authentic in your business when it comes to what you're posting, because people will read stories. People read and people see. They can tell your stories even just from pictures. They can tell the kind of person, the kind of businesses that the kind of services that you're offering. So make sure you are authentic and not try be somebody else, but just be you and be authentic. I think that is something that I can encourage.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Busy person.
Yes.
You making the time.
I'm so
is
grateful.
Really, I'm grateful. I'm thankful for this conversation. I've learned so much about you that I didn't know before. So yeah, I hope this has encouraged someone out there. There's been some nuggets during this conversation that if people are really paying attention, they'll pick up on. So yes, famous warriors, we've come to the end of this conversation. Like I said, I hope you have been inspired, encouraged, challenged, all the things, you know. Go back to the drawing board. What is your why? Live authentically and all those things, because life is a battle and every chance we get to wake up and fight in this battle is a privilege, and you guys are definitely worth that fight.